Hi, I'm Mike Gibson and this is ExPatting Russia. I've lived in Moscow for 27 years and I totally love this place. So I want to share some Russian stories with you. This is a big country with a big heart and big stories to tell. So it's Moscow's 875th birthday. So we want to make a program about Moscow and all the many different people we meet here. Moscow really is a city that feels like a bridge between Asia and Europe, a place that connects different worlds and a hub of international friendship. Holidays in Russia, or prazdniks as they are called, are a big deal. The biggest road in the heart of Moscow, Tverskaya, is closed for City Day and becomes a big birthday celebration with attractions and stages. There are people from everywhere here.
Москва, она многоликая.
Она огромная, она энергичная.
Ночная Москва одна, дневная она совершенно другая.
В Москве есть место всем. Она уникальна, она удивительна.
Very nice, an interesting place. Like you get to see famous places, you get to go to the museum, you see nice, and everything they have. They have like a lot of statues here in Russia.
Москва для меня не только родной город, это лучший город Земли.
Это святой город с духовной точки зрения. Это город возможностей для молодых людей.
Moscow is a multinational, multicultural metropolis where one can find representatives of all the religious denominations. However, historically, the main religion of Russia has always been Russian Orthodoxy.
Россия исторически на протяжении более 1000 лет это православное государство, которое в силу географии, в силу истории включает разные народы. И здесь, конечно, присутствуют разные вероисповедания. И, конечно, много мусульман, в первую очередь. Существуют, конечно, и католики, и протестанты, гораздо в меньшем, так сказать, количестве. Но всегда в России главенствующей, главной, первой религией было православие. Но что очень важно, что все остальные религии не ущемлялись.
Islam is the second largest religion in Moscow, and Russia has the largest Muslim population of all Europe at about 20% of the population.
Ислам имеет 1400-летнюю историю на территории нашего государства. И мусульмане, отряды появились в районе Дербента. Город, который называется Баб-эль-Абуаб, дверь дверей, через которых вошел ислам на территорию нашей страны.
According to unofficial statistics, there are about 2 billion Muslims living in the world today. That is every fourth inhabitant of the planet.
Уже с 1991 года российские мусульмане получили свободно исповедать свою религию, строить мечети, медресе, и появилось уже 2 поколения новых мусульман, которые могут изучать свою религию, читать книги, посещать храмы, слушать проповеди, получать профессиональное религиозное образование в университетах, в медресе, в институтах, проводить проповедническую деятельность.
Today there are about 8,000 mosques across Russia. 5 of them are to be found in Moscow. This mosque was built in 2015. This is a really beautiful and vast 6-story mosque. I'm so lost. To go inside, you need to take off your shoes. In the mosque, women and men pray in separate halls. So now we're going to the boys' floor. More than 10,000 worshippers can fit into this mosque. And this beautiful chandelier weighs 1.5 tons. The scale and beauty are impressive. There is a small and very interesting museum on the second floor. You can discover the history of the mosque and see some unique exhibits. The mosque is constructed on the site of the first mosque that was built in 1904. So this is a copy of a manuscript from the 8th century. Look how modern that design looks. There are many religious confessions in Moscow, among them a large and active Jewish community. In addition to several synagogues, in Moscow there is the Jewish Museum and Tolerance Center. It's a spectacular and fascinating place inside an historic Soviet bus garage and an absolute must-see.
Первые евреи появились здесь в 17 столетии и были военнопленными после польско-русской войны. Но уже говорить о том, что здесь возникает какая-то более-менее община и живет большое количество евреев, можно говорить где-то с середины 19 столетия. Еврейская община была одной из первых, наверное, этнических каких-то вот групп, да, этнических, которые начали говорить о каком-то взаимодействии. И музей, который открылся в 2012 году, наш музей, он явился вот такой отправной точкой для возобновления такого общественного разговора, некая площадка для обсуждения, да, для того, чтобы можно было встречаться, обсуждать различные проблемы.
The Jewish Museum in Moscow is really one of the most genius museums in all the world. Here you can find the story of Judaism, learn about the Holocaust and discover the Jewish communities throughout all Russia. The museum is truly beautiful. It's full of immersive exhibitions and multimedia interactive exhibits. This is one of the coolest spiral escalators. Spiral escalators? It's a very cool spiral staircase in Moscow. Moscow has over 8,000 monuments celebrating poets, thinkers, revolutionaries and musicians from many different countries, in particular the 15 countries or republics that made up the Soviet Union. And Bulak Akujama, a poet, a songwriter, musician and all-round bard. And this is the Armenian composer Khachaturian, very famous for his sword dance music. And this is Dante, the famous Italian. What more can I say? He's Dante. Behind me is Victor Hugo. This monument was given by the mayor of Paris. Le Corbusier, one of the most famous 20th century architects, has built in Moscow and influenced many other buildings, including Narkomfin. Cool guy. Abay Kunanbayev is from Kazakhstan. He's a 19th century poet and philosopher and cultural reformer, and in general, a pretty cool guy. And Charles de Gaulle, literally larger than life, French president, statesman, and leader of the Free French during World War II. Indira Gandhi was the first and so far only woman Prime Minister of India. And on the other side of the road from Indira Gandhi is Mahatma Gandhi. Also, some Moscow streets are named after famous foreigners. These are writers, artists, musicians, scientists, and generals. And Bruce of Periuluk was named after General James Bruce, who came from Scotland, and he was an advisor and a great friend of Peter the Great. Moscow is an international city of friendship. You can meet people from over 100 different nations. Many families have been living in the capital for more than one generation. Others relocated to Russia after the collapse of the Soviet Union, while others have just arrived to seize the opportunities in Moscow.
Москву я люблю за то, что она разная и красивая.
Я патриот России, и столица России – это для меня главный город.
I love Moscow because it's a very nice place. It has interesting things. You can't run out of things to do or places to go. It's very nice. It's a capital city, I understand.
Москва – это мой родной город. Здесь родились мои родители, мои бабушки и дедушки. Здесь живет моя семья, здесь я служу. Это моя родина.
Я люблю Москву за ее многогранность, за те возможности, которые она дает каждому.
Здравствуй, мой родной город. Вхожу в квартиру, говорю, здравствуй, мой дом. Это я.
That was our program celebrating the 875th birthday of Moscow, an international city of nations and friends. We hope you will come back and watch our program again. And please, please do subscribe to the ExPatting link down below. Bye. We just confused the floors. We ended up on the girls' floor. We're still lost.